person is reading their book and eating some sweet rolls with their coffee. This person just has their coffee. These two people were playing a game with their cards. And Betty's just here with her coffee, and she likes to enjoy these plants here. So there's several plants. There's 4 right here. This succulent, this planter, and the hanging plant. Under this hanging plant, we have our first table with decorations. We have a sand sculpture and a microfloater terrarium, as well as this antique toy motorcycle. There are 4 variants of this. This is the one with the driver in a sidecar, and they are both wearing hats. This set of tables is themed with space, so I have this toy rocket with a NASA theme, as well as this desktop globe to carry over the space theme. And you may notice that some of the coffee mugs are also from NASA, so I like to include these here. I think the NASA stuff is one of my favorite. Oh, this, you're probably confused as well. This is a mod. This is the Dark Side of the Comet Sarah Morgan mod. I'm also using a glasses mod, so she can have these cool glasses with her cool new hair and makeup. Alright, moving back over here, we saw this planter and the accompanying succulent. Now, the real heart and soul of a coffee shop is where they make the coffee. So here we have our water station. We have a place for cold, warm, and room temperature water, as well as a plant that people are welcome to water here. We have the counter that everyone can order at, and then we have a setup for a dual espresso machine, as well as regular drip coffee. We have a grinder for fresh beans, and of course the trash. So our beans are set here. We have beans, mugs, milk, and another motorcycle just for ambiance. We also have this mortar and pestle, which are just for ambiance. But then a few of these items we may consider for sale, such as these stylized mugs, some of these coffee bags, these grinders, and these electric teapots. Now, some of these things are also just for use in our cafe, the Mercure Bean Cafe. One of them is the Starlocked board game, and the other is the Solar Frontiers board game. People are more than welcome to take one of these games to their table with them and play. In addition to the coffee area and the seating area, we also have a back area, which is just for the employees, and it's hidden right back here. So we also have the fire extinguisher, because you have to have one of those, and I like this mat as well for employees so that they can, keep from slipping. It can often get very wet when you're working with coffee on the ground and around. You also need a place to wash your hands, so I was able to install this sink here with the nozzle, and I like to think of this as the on-off switch. We have both soap and lotion here for use, as well as towels to dry your hands, and a little plant just for ambiance. So this is the Mercure Bean Cafe. I really like the vibe in here with all of these hanging plants and the nice wood accents, as well as these leather chairs, this comfortable sofa, and the set of high-back leather chairs. So I think this is a really cozy space to relax. At the end of the day, as a place to go before you head to your crew quarters. So before we get into the crew quarters, I wanted to show off, and this frog is showing us this is where you sleep. There's a bit of a chairs. And the person who sits here has their pack of smokes and their old earth flip lighter, as well as a bottle of beer, just to have over here with them as they unwind before they go to bed. So I like to think that the person who sits over here is sort of the leader of the second class of employees, or settlement inhabitants, and this is where their little cronies sit all around them as they hold court and smoke their cigarettes. They're the only one who's allowed to have them because they're so cool and they won't share them with anyone. Now over on this side, I think, is where the straight-laced folks sit, the really career-oriented and driven inhabitants of this outpost station. And they sit here, and the leader, I think, sleeps here at this spot so they can be first out the door in the morning. And they are really concerned with their look, so they have both a cosmetic supply box and a jar of skincare ingredients so that they can keep up with their appearance and everything. On this side, we also have a person who sleeps a little hot, so they like to have this fan, and also just for the noise. They've also got a pair of slippers, since they like to relax at the end of the day. They're one of the last people to leave this table. Now this table has everyone's drinks and a game where they can play, and a couple packs of cards for people who just need an activity at the end of the day to kind of wind down. Most of these chairs are bolted down, but there's 2 additional chairs. I think of this as the first class leader's chair, and I think of this as the second class leader's chair. And I think that they have an equal number of cronies. They sit on either side of this table. So the first class, or the career-oriented inhabitants, sit on this side and sleep in these beds. And then the more laid back, or the ones who question authority, can sit on this side and smoke their pipes and drink their party beverages like this, and sit on this side, and their leader sits here with his chair askew, his or her chair askew. This person, the last person who sits on the straight-laced side of camp, has this little spot where they can sit and look out with their binoculars and have a drink and look at the outpost and the different machines that operate outside, like our solar panels and the station that's out there. There's some structures out there that they can keep an eye on, and they really have a good view of this part of the station from here, as well as our ship landing pad, so they can see our comings and goings. The person that sits here is, or that sleeps here rather, is in the camp of the laid-back inhabitants, but they have their Rubik's Cube and they have their slippers, so they like their pursuits, their sort of nerdy pursuits, and their comfort, but they're also a person who likes to kind of question things, and they come at things from a logical point of view, and provides that other perspective. Here we have a person who's a little more dangerous. This is a person who's pretty paranoid. They have their weapons here that they keep by their bed, and it may not be that they're paranoid, but more so that they're the protector of this group, and they're always thinking about how things should be done to protect people. You can tell they have a soft spot because on top of their bunk they have a My Friend Will citizens or the laid-back inhabitants. That's where this worker sleeps. And he's got more beer over here, but he's also got a personal groomer because as much as he likes to seem laid back and like the counter movement to order, he's also very concerned with his personal appearance. So he has to have this personal groomer to take care of that appearance. So looks like Sarah's sitting in his place. She thinks she's going to be the renegade, and who are we to say that she isn't? Okay, so that's where everybody sleeps. Now, there are a couple of places in this outpost where people can work, and I'll take you to this first. So this is what I call the sales center. This is where we make our money and we show our clients to this area. So there's a couple desks for people to sit. There's a little waiting area here. There's this navigation table where we can display different things, as well as all of these computer stations that help us to run this outpost and monitor the climate conditions on the planet, as well as perform different calculations that we need. So I like to think that the main purpose of this outpost is constructing and selling starships. So we have this model ship here, as well as all of these files for different schematics. We have a couple of places here, so we have these drinks here to celebrate when a client has made an offer, or maybe just to kind of, loosen them up to accept a better price for the ship that they're purchasing. We've also got a few tchotchkes here just to show a bit of character, some hanging plants to bring some life into the room, and then these older ships to kind of show distinguish a commitment to shipbuilding. A personalized coffee mug for the person who sits here, a regular coffee mug for the person who sits next to them, and then a couple of plants here for the science geek who gets to monitor the station. That's why they have this alien display here, and of course some water that you have to have, especially if you're talking and you're working in sales. The other part of this station is where we are researching. So this is where a person would go to look for different planets that can be mined, or to come up with new ways of doing things. So here there's paper scattered all over this table, and microscopes for evaluating minerals and things. And a lot of work gets done here, and a lot of collaboration around this table. We're also able to perform calculations in these computers. And because these are older, they're not connected to any network. So we can keep all of our company secrets secret. This is also where we check around the settled system to see if there's any work that needs to be done. We're oftentimes committed to making space a safer place because our customers are taking their starships out, and they would like to know that some inspiration, some style among the stars. That is over our spacesuit workbench where we can design and modify our clothing and equipment. We have this station where we just have a few tools, some more tools over here and some drawers, as well as a place where we can keep our radioactive materials. We try not to stand there for too long unless we're using this research computer. Now, this is another place we need a fire extinguisher, although there are no flames allowed. In this room, you definitely need to prepare for the notion that sometimes you may need to put out a fire for friction or something that happens at this pharmaceutical station. We also have some tools over here as well as a light, so people can bring different components over here to work on and to keep things stored if they need to. We also have a place to work on our weapons, which is what Barrett's doing now. We have a crate to store some of our finished products, as well as some seating here and some water. So we have some more does not. One of the reasons is that the only weapon rack or weapon display that can be placed on these planters is the pistol display. The wider weapon rack, where you can showcase a single weapon, does not attach to these planters. It does not consider them a wall. So we place these weapon racks instead. And they're here, and we can show off all of our weapons we've collected throughout the game. Now, this weapon case looks like it's acquired some additional items here, which is not intentional. But sometimes weapon cases will do this, where they just acquire additional items. So we have our items here that are obviously the unique items are the ones that have the blue name or higher, and everything else is just spawned in. So I believe they fixed this in the update, how these containers should no longer spawn random weapons, but I have not updated the game because I'm using a lot of mods, and these mods have not all been updated to the most recent version of the game. So that's why some of these are like this. There may be other little changes throughout the game, but I'm really proud to display all of these unique weapons that I've collected, as well as all of these unique armor sets that I've collected. It's been a great joy to collect these, and also to find a place to display them. And I think it's turned out really well. I'm really happy with how it looks. Now, this is our final room, and this is a room that's designed really just so that we can have these crew stations to really fill up our outpost and make everything very usable. But we have a few stations here where people can work on designs, or writing letters to home, or writing formulas. This station is where we can do some chemistry. We have our heating element, as well as some hot mids and tongs to hold different things, including this funnel. And there is also a flask, an Erlenmeyer flask here. They're difficult to see because they're glass, and I haven't found too many of these in the game. We also have this bottle, which looks like it has a design on it, which I've not been able to identify. If you have a clue what this is, let me know in the comments. I've not seen that design anywhere else. Another station here just to collect some information or to read up and study. We have another station here, which is really just for drinking coffee and sitting with the fan, contemplating. It's the contemplation station. And over here we have a place where people can work on their, sharpening their mind. They have this cube, which I believe is like a Rubik's Cube, but obviously the design is different. It has these dots instead of colors. We also have here a geode to adorn this desk, and a notepad for people to write down some of their designs and different things. Now on this side, I forgot to show off, next to our chemistry station, we have this medicine station where people can look up designs and look at the different things that they may need. So bottles of pills and different medications that we may need, and lights to make sure we keep all of these things straight and organized. And it's a great second place to go after the chemistry is done, to come here and make sure everything is cleaned and organized. Now, on this side, this person has a clamp, which is well suited for the goal of this area. You can do some additional reading here and some more practical design here. So on PS3 would not be friendly for working on circuit boards, so I'm not sure exactly what kind of projects people will bring over here, but they will bring things that they need to drill over to this station or add wire to, and they're able to do that and work on their different prototypes and really to log their findings and maybe search some other designs. So that's the final room here, and the final room of our outpost. So I'm sure you may have questions about the mods I'm using. I have not compiled a list, but if you're curious to know how I've achieved anything here, please let me know in the comments. I'm more than happy to go over it. I've used a mod for unlimited mannequins. I've also used a mod to have multiple followers. And those are the big ones that you see here. I've also, used console commands to change the appearance of some of these companions, but there's not really a link for that, but I think that's everything that I've shown here. If you have other questions, I'm sure there are other things I kind of missed, so let me know, and I'll see you guys in the next video. I'm gonna cut it here before my cat starts to make too much noise, but I really appreciate you taking this tour and seeing my crib and all the work I've done to make this outpost a really livable space. All the clutter I've placed here has made it feel really homey and less empty, so I appreciate you watching, and I'll catch you all in the next video.